Hey, listeners, before we get to today's podcast, I just want to thank our sponsors who make this podcast possible. First off, we have Tiny & Sons Glass. Does your vehicle have cameras or driver's assist? If so, when your windshield is replaced, it will need to be recalibrated. What is recalibration? When your vehicle's windshield is replaced, the safety systems need to then be tested to ensure that they work with your new windshield. Some vehicles require static recalibration, and others require a dynamic recalibration. Not sure who to trust to take care of this recalibration for you? Well, just call Tiny & Sons Glass in Pembroke, Mass. They are experts in auto glass and registered company of the Auto Glass Safety Council. Plus, they make it easy. They will call your insurance company for you. Get your windshield replaced by their highly trained auto glass technicians. And get your vehicle recalibrated so you can be back on the road. Tiny & Sons Glass, keeping you and your family safe. And our second sponsor today is Baxter Blue. Do you experience digital eye strain from too much blue light exposure from digital screens? Baxter Blue glasses are not your average frames. These blue light lenses filter 80% of the highest energy blue light, eliminating 99% of the glare. The past year, we've all been glued to our devices more than ever. And here at Inebri-art, we're making more content. We have some video content. We're doing a lot of audio stuff, live streaming, which all means I'm sitting in front of the computer. Pretty much any time I'm awake, I am in front of the computer, eyes glued to the screen. Our exposure to digital light has soared, and our eyes and our sleep are suffering as a result. Baxter Blue is also a force for good and provides a pair of reading glasses for someone in need for every pair sold. This is eyewear built for our digital age, and Baxter Blue is giving our listeners 10% off the next purchase of blue light, sleep, or kids glasses. Click on the link in our show notes for an exclusive discount. This is the sign you have been waiting for to invest in blue light glasses. We know you'll love your Baxters, and we know that you will feel the difference. So thanks again for our sponsors for sponsoring the show, and now let's jump right into the podcast.
Cross the line, let go of stream. I've been in Tampa Bay, around the horn, and home again, 'cause that is the sailor's way.
All right, welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast. You threw me off with your finger guns.
Leave it. Keep going.
Yeah, that was great. I'm sorry. Welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast about all things Plymouth and surrounding areas. I am Andy, your host, and I am joined today by finger guns sharpshooter Fish.
Yellow.
And expert in all things Plymouth, Hannah.
Nice.
Hannah.
Hello.
This is going to sound kind of like a sexy comment, but what are you wearing?
I was like, what is he about to ask me?
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing some new merch.
Oh my God, I'm wearing new merch too.
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we got some Old Colony merch. Hannah is rocking the Old Colony Cast knit cap, which beanie. Yeah.
Well, just for
toboggan.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard it called several things. Have you ever heard it? Toboggan.
That's a sled.
What? I know.
It's also a hat.
My ex-girlfriend used to call it toboggan, and she's like, "Where's your toboggan?" And I'm like, "What? I don't own a sled."
It's the safest way to get down that driveway.
Ohio.
That would be why.
Yeah, I agree.
I would probably sled down your driveway at that point, though. It's safer.
Yeah, not on a hat. The hat would not help you. So, all right. So, listeners, these hats are not suggested for sledding.
They're not sleds.
They're not sleds. They are hats. They fit on your head. Do not ride them down a hill.
They're great. They're comfortable.
Really sweet.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
Like, they feel amazing. Better than any Carhartt I've ever worn.
Wow. That's
It's bold, I know.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
So
and I am wearing the Old Colony Cast. I take it off so I can look at it. The trucker hat, which is also available. These should all be up on the website by the time you're hearing this. They're not there now. And it's an orange and gray hat with the Old Colony Cast logo, which was designed by your husband, Donnie.
Uh-huh. Cute stuff.
And I was showing it to friends of the show from America's Hometown Horror. Mm-hmm. And they loved it, and they're like, "Oh, this reminds me of Schoolhouse Rock," and I'm like, "That is literally what it was supposed to be like, echoing." So.
Exactly. Those are my thoughts. That was my creation.
And it's filled with some references to episodes. which sometimes I have to go back and figure out what the hell the
I
references
think there
were.
was like, you're like, why is there a pear? And I was like, because Lizzie Borden was eating a pear.
Yeah. So there's some really esoteric references, but they're all there. And I am taking a nap in the logo, and Hannah's reading a book, and then there is a fish in a beer glass, and you can figure out what that means. Fish.
I don't have a problem.
We also have T-shirts too, like a long 3/4 sleeve
Like a baseball
shirt.
T-shirt,
They're pretty sweet. So if you're interested in any of that, head over to Inebri-art.com. That's INEBRI-ART.com. Check out the shop section.
I thought you were going to mention something about socks.
Yeah, we have socks coming. No, we don't have socks coming. Right now, that's all the merch we have. There's other stuff for our other shows, Bar Talk and Inebri-art there. Or you can go to Old Colony Cast Facebook page and just DM us, and we'll get you out some merch. Because we got downloaded in weird places. So a little like throwback to the Wareham Aquifer episode. Me and Fish were talking about this earlier. It got listened to in Nepal.
No way.
Yeah. Amongst other countries. It was just weird that...
Yeah, two guys in Nepal listened to us talk about
aquifers and
Wareham zoning issues.
You gotta get into local politics somehow.
Well, I know they
It
say
doesn't have to be your locale.
Yeah, I know they say all politics is local politics, but that seems to be a bit extreme.
So we give a shout out to all our listeners, to our friends in Nepal and wherever else. Why is that funny?
I don't know. It just was a cute way to say it.
I mean, if you're in Nepal and listening to this, send us an email and
I've been saying like
just say hi.
I've been
that'd be so cool.
Using I feel like not a little descriptive words that are just a little bit inappropriate for what. Like I called someone was like holding up a bag and I thought she was holding it up for at work. I work at a retail store. Everyone,
big box retail.
Yeah, and they were holding up a bag, and I was like, "Oh, cute," which is fine to say to like woman to woman, whatever. Yeah. She's like, "It's for my husband," and I said, "Handsome," and then like she didn't say anything. So I feel like I've been throwing out like really odd descriptive words today.
Oh, that'll be interesting for the episode.
Well, I just said like whatever you were noting on. I was like, "Oh, it's a cute way to say it."
Oh, I didn't.
I
notice.
know. I don't think anyone notices who knows me. But it's pretty heavy.
Because I usually say some really inappropriate things, so when someone uses the word cute, it just doesn't even register.
Yeah,
I just feel like I've been heavy on it today.
I don't have to bleep anything we've said so far, so I think I'm okay.
I also,
Hannah?
the last episode I listened to, I realized I totally forgot you had to bleep something I said.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah.
There are literally stories passed around about me where people are like, oh my God, and you meant that as a compliment. Yeah, I say dumb things, but that's who I am. That's why I'm the co-host, not the researcher, because I can say dumb things and you can make it sound smart.
There we go.
And when we both sound dumb, Fish edits it out. It's fantastic. So, I mean, enough jibber jabber.
Yeah.
I pity the fool who doesn't get to the topic.
We can get
nothing.
To the topic.
No one. Nothing.
Yeah, Mr. T.
Mr. T. All right.
Gotcha.
So Hannah, what are we talking about today?
We are going to be talking about King's Castle Land.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's right.
Per your request.
That's right. So a little Andy throwback. I grew up maybe a 20-minute bike ride from King's Castle Land.
Cool.
So I used to save my lunch money instead of getting lunch, and then ride my bike up to King's Castle, because King's Castle was a toy store next to King's Castle Land, which was the theme park. Mm-hmm. And theme park I use very loosely. And I would save my lunch money and for like a week, and then go up and buy G.I. Joes.
Cool.
Yeah, because
Why not?
Teach a man to fish, he eats for a day. Yeah. Buy him a G.I. Joe.
He ends up selling them like 30 years later.
Right. So everyone knows that saying.
True. I do. My dad taught it to me. So before that toy store was there, that toy store was moved there by the second owners, but the first people who owned it were Joseph and Priscilla King. King's
Castle. Okay.
Exactly. King's Castle.
Okay.
So it's right off Route 18 in Whitman.
Yep. And is now a Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry if that was at the end.
Yeah,
but
you're skipping ahead.
Sorry. I'm very attached to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will jump in,
All
and
right.
that's okay.
I am gonna.
About 5 acres when it was the original owners land.
So did the toy store come after the theme park? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh my God! Really? Okay.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of an interesting story with it too, but when it first started, it was much smaller than what you knew it to be because it started in 1941,
Okay.
and it was like just a lot of those like playhouses.
Yeah. So
the
like
fairy
yeah, there was
tales.
always kind of like these like paths that you would walk through, and they'd be kind of these crude fiberglass cement structures
Yeah,
that you
you
like.
got stucco and some.
Yeah, that you would like look in, and there'd be like a little like Red Riding Hood scene and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I've never gone to King's Castle Land. So
Yeah.
you can like put all the imagery in.
Okay.
This, as much as you want.
There was a moat.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And there was like not real crocodiles, but there was like fake crocodiles in the moat. Yeah.
So
I have very fond memories of that.
I'm happy to hear it. Picnic area.
Yep.
Right. Couples. This is when like it first started.
Okay,
So
all right.
all those things that you remember, those were still there. A lot was added after the first owner sold, but those type of like little houses and things, cute
Yep.
things you can go get pictures with and just play around on. It had a couple giants, really just like a few rides, not a lot of rides.
Yeah,
when
no,
it
not at
first-
all. Yeah.
when it was in like opened in 1941. So when the first owners had it until 1968ish.
Okay. Which is still like 20 years before I was there. Like
Yeah, there were
15?
only like
Yeah.
2 or 3 rides.
Yeah.
Like in the whole park. So it was really just to come hang out, run around this cute stuff. Cute's my word today, but I think it's because King's Castle Land was like supposed to be that fairy tale
yeah.
like type of place.
And it's also 2 blocks away from where Toll House cookies were made.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's
very close.
right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. So all of the stuff that was there, most of it was built by Joe King, who owned it first.
It was very DIY.
Yeah, he was very handy with like stucco and cement. And there were like there was one or two giants there. And there was the giant that had fallen. Do you remember
I
that?
don't remember that.
So there was a giant he had and it had fallen.
Okay.
And they just like
Made that part of the
of the thing. So like I saw like pictures of people. This on my journey to find out information about King's Castle Land. It's a lot more pictures than information came up. So that's
Sure.
like how I'm like kind of figuring.
So I'll
out
try
what
and
was
like
there.
fill in what I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was this big giant, and kids were like crawling on his back. That reminded me of like Gulliver's Travels. a little
Sure.
bit.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
It wasn't intended to be that, but that's
Yeah.
really what it amounted to. A couple other things he built: the fire-breathing dragon.
Yep. So there were 2 dragons you could see from the street. Like they were right up against the front gate, and one of them breathed fire. And this is like late 70s, early 80s. So the parents would stand. I mean, these were tall,
Yeah,
like really tall,
Yeah, they were big.
20 feet.
I never got like the actual footage, but it was.
They're
tall.
very tall.
Yeah.
And so the thing that every kid would want to do, and like I think back, and it's just like it's the most crazy thing. There'd be kids just like climbing up this dragon and like climbing up the neck, trying to touch the flame. Like it
Yeah.
breathed fire for real. And kids would try and like touch the flame,
Yeah.
and their parents would just sit on stand on the ground watching them, and there'd be just like a line of kids down this dragon's neck, and you're like, no one can move forward, no one can move backwards. How is no one dead?
Oh my gosh! Yeah. So
It was the lawn darts of theme parks.
So they he built those, and then one of the dragons was the oil tank that fed the flame.
okay.
From
It was legit a flamethrower,
Yeah.
for sure.
and it went off every 3 minutes, I believe, was
Okay.
the cadence.
That sounds about right, yeah.
for the most part. And I've seen a picture of it in its later years, and it was not doing real hot
Yeah.
at the top, like where its head was supposed to be.
I believe
Looked a little crazy.
I believe that the head of one of the 2 dragons. So
Yeah.
one breathed fire and
Yeah.
one didn't.
Yep. The one that didn't was the one that had the oil in its belly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it held the oil for the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. I I believe one of the heads is still in Whitman in like a historic museum there.
There's a couple random things from King's Castle Land that are in the Historical Society place, and then in the Toll House Museum they have a couple random things. I don't know about the head of that.
Yeah.
But like smaller things are saved, which is cool. But yeah, no, the head of the dragon, at least from that picture I saw, was literally like its jaw breathing fire.
Oh, and like no like head to it. Yeah. That sounds vaguely familiar because I mean, especially in later, even as I was a kid, like so I starting 40. It was probably like 40 years old when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. It didn't. The upkeep was always questionable.
Oh yeah. It looked like one of those kind of dirty
roadside attraction.
Yeah.
It looked like it was around in the 70s and 80s, and it wasn't Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People loved it. So obviously a lot of memorable features. We can keep like talking about them as we
There's
go.
an arcade in a circle building that looked like a drum.
So that was the drum theater. You really skipped ahead on that one. But don't worry about it. The drum theater, so it was like a movie theater or something at one point, or a show theater.
Okay.
Like almost like a circus tent type deal. So it was...
I don't remember that. I just remember being an arcade.
Because it was before you went there. So from the original owners. And then they moved an arcade into there.
Oh, okay.
So...
That's interesting.
Back then, around the time it opened, 50 cents for adults to get in and 25 cents for kids to get in for the day.
I wonder how much it was when it was probably pretty cheap when I was a kid.
It still was pretty cheap when you were a kid, yeah. So 1968, that's when Clarence Whitney and his wife Paulina buy the King's Castle. King's Castle Land, sorry. Well, they were already the owners of a toy store in Brockton called Hideaway Toys off East Ashland Street.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are like just the sweetest. So there's this nice thing, like video interview with them from, I think it was Wicked Local or like Patriot Ledger or something, like one of the Plymouth papers did an interview with them in their home in Plymouth because they ended up retiring to Plymouth.
Kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And they were just like the sweetest old couple in the world. Like when they talk about their time owning King's Castle Land, it's just like there's such genuine like happiness when they're speaking about it. It was like, I watched it like 5 times because it's only 7 minutes long.
Is it on like YouTube?
Yeah, you can just search it. It's like there's very few things come up when you Google King's Castle Land, but this comes up and it's like one of the top things. So they're very, very sweet. And that's actually, he gave me a lot of the information that I have for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You reached out to him?
He died. I meant from that video. He's no longer with us.
Oh. Sorry, Clarence? Clancy?
Clarence, yeah. Clancy. Maybe he went by Clancy. Maybe. But anyway, he from a young age wanted to own the biggest toy store on the South Coast. Like he told the story about how he's talking with his friend, someone he's still close with later on in life, about when they were 15. He said, I'm going to own the biggest toy store in South Shore, Massachusetts, which is like such a specific dream.
It is very specific.
For a 15-year-old.
Especially then when there was like Child's World and Toys R Us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he had to go up against the big dogs. So his dream came to life when he decided to combine the two businesses. So he ended up closing the
Brockton store?
The Brockton store in 1971 and moving it to King's Castle. So I kept wondering why he kept calling it, instead of King's Castle Land, he called it King's Castle because that was the name of the toy store.
Right. The toy store was King's Castle and was shaped like a castle.
Yeah. So, and they made that, like, that was just like hollow cement fixture. Like they made,
the whole thing was like...
They made, so he kept up with the standard of kind of rudimentary, like building techniques.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Kept up with
probably not to code.
Yeah, stucco and all that. But they did add a lot of stuff. So there used to be like a meadow there, and they ended up filling it in to get more parking spaces. They moved around some weird stuff with like the pond and the moat.
Yep. They added like a parking lot in front, and then restructured the fence so that when you entered, I think you used to enter through the side, like right near the toy store.
Yep.
And then they restructured and put in like a drawbridge kind of thing with a little shop inside.
You got it. There was a candy store on one side.
Yeah, the candy store. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like you helped him for this interview. You're like saying almost all the same stuff.
I literally have been there a lot.
That's so funny. So a couple other things. that he did. So the toy store itself had 20,000 selling square feet, so it was a really big toy store,
Yeah.
and he was keeping up with like the bigger toy stores at the time that you just mentioned, because he had everything.
Yeah.
Everything that you needed, he had.
Oh, G.I. Joe's, Transformers,
And
Barbie,
He-Man.
He-Man. Definitely had He-Man stuff for sure.
was it Stretch Armstrong? Was he a guy back
Probably. That was a little. Definitely
might
had
have
it.
been a little
It
later
was
on.
before my time.
then? Yeah.
Oh, before? Oh, yeah.
Stretch Armstrong. Yeah, that
70s.
was like early 70s.
Yeah.
He also added and bought an adjoining lot for it had an extra 2.5 acres, so that's where he got a lot of space to add more rides. And attractions like from all over the place. So from the sounds of it, like, and just the way he talked about how he found his attractions, like the local small theme park community is like a very not close-knit group, but like he just talked about him. He's like, oh, so-and-so down at Edaville. Like he like just knew who these guys were. So when you like think about all the weird small like parks around the South Shore, South Coast, like that, I have never gone to Edaville, but that's
I've
like
never gone. I went when I was a little, but I don't remember.
no, I don't know. But Edaville's one of them, right?
Yeah.
We had Kings Castle Land, Paragon Park, which isn't there anymore.
right, Paragon Park.
Yeah, that. So he ended up
Rocky Point.
Rocky Point.
Yeah.
So like a bunch of fun little things, and he talks about how like he got a train set up at Kings Castle Land, and people from Edaville helped him like build it and set it up.
Oh, that's cool.
And then there was something he bought from Paragon Park. I think it was their carousel or something.
I remember there being a carousel.
Yeah. He wanted a big one. And then he added more giants, more like fantasy. He said fantasy was the name of the game.
Yeah.
Any other funny little things you can think of. So they talked a lot about this lion that you can like put your head into.
Oh, yeah. I totally remember that. Yeah. So it was like, I say fiberglass, but obviously it wasn't. It was probably like cement.
Stucco or cement, yeah.
Oh my God, there's literally a picture somewhere of my father with his head stuck in
Yeah.
that line. I'm gonna have to like message my sister, see if I can find it.
And then there's like the shoe, the old
Lady in the Shoe.
shoe.
Yeah, it was very like storybook.
It was very storybook, kind of fairy tale.
Yeah. And like very classic.
Yeah.
So,
Public domain.
yes, very public domain. So like
Yeah.
Old Lady in the Shoe.
Mother Goose kind of stuff.
Yeah. Little Miss Muffet. All right, so I'm gonna. There was one thing, and it's disclaimer. This was either Storybook Land in New Hampshire, or King's Castle Land, and what's the one with the down came a spider and sat down beside her?
Little Miss Muffet.
Yes, and like you sat on this little stump, and like a spider
would come
drop
down.
from the tree above. That might have been Storybook Land. I don't remember.
Because I also haven't been to Storyland.
That's in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I know I drive by it often because I go to that part of New Hampshire a lot. Just
Yeah.
like have never gone in.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
It's just like King's Castle Land in a different location
think
that has lasted longer.
So they had a little ferry boat
Yep.
in the pond that they used. They had the chariot rides.
The chariot rides.
Not with real horses or anything, but
I
yeah,
don't
it was
remember
like
that at
little
all.
kids on like these weird chariot things. You can
I have
like
to message my sister literally right now. I'm going to forget.
she's come up now
She's come. What?
on the second podcast.
Oh, that's right.
you gotta get it. What else did they? Oh, the swing ride is what they got from Paragon Park.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
Yeah. What else did they have? This is tough because I wish I was there, but I got so many visuals. All the giants that he added.
Yeah.
There's a lot of giants. So there was the big blue ox guy. Why can't I think of his name?
Babe.
Babe is a big blue ox.
Paul
Paul
Bunyan.
Bunyan.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was like, it's right on the tip of my tongue. And then there was a guy, I wrote down Robin Hood, but that was not his name.
William Tell.
Yes.
I love the fact that you said Robin Hood, and I knew who you were talking about.
It's like Robin Hood, but no, the other guy with a bow and arrow.
And then they had like a dopey giant that was supposed to be like kind of a hillbilly-ish person, but it looks
Oh my God, I remember that.
it looked like the Mad TV face.
And he kind of had like overalls, and like
Yeah.
one of the overalls was undone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's Universal hillbilly.
Yeah.
look.
I forget what else they had. What, I don't know, anything ringing a bell?
Oh, this is like ringing a bell. Like
Yeah.
way too close. I forgot all about the Giants.
Yeah.
Because typically, when you reminisce about King's Castle Land, everyone immediately thinks of the dragons.
I think having not gone there, I do remember like driving by it when it was still there. So I remember like seeing the castle and the dragons, but like nothing beyond that. Very like drive by.
Yeah,
type
I
of
mean
visual.
those were the things that were like right up front.
Right. Oh, they also got a tilt-a-whirl, merry-go-round, and a small roller coaster. And then there was
I remember the small roller coaster.
there was a ride.
Even as a child, I'm like,
they kept mentioning the monkey cage. That was a ride.
monkey cage.
Yeah, and I don't know what that was.
I don't recall that at all.
And he said they also had some bumper cars.
Bumper cars don't ring a bell. I just remember being on the roller coaster there. Mm-hmm. And now, if our listeners,
It was like a cheetah roller coaster.
if our listeners have not been there and are thinking roller coaster, no, not that kind.
No.
Like this one, like max speed was 15 miles an hour.
It's like
It's like a little kiddie roller
yeah,
coaster.
and it
Kiddie
might
roller
have been
coaster.
like 4 feet off the ground at its height. You know?
well,
Yeah.
the way Clarence Whitney talked about it, it was like he described the moment seeing it at a theme park, like what's it called? Not a festival, but like
a trade show.
Yeah, trade show.
Yeah.
And he's like, I saw it, and I was like, we gotta have it.
Yeah.
Like he was like, that's the one, Paulina.
Yeah. And
That's
it's one of those things where it's just like an adult is going to look at it and be like, "Oh, the kids are going to love that," and like, as a kid, you're like,
yeah, no one beyond like the age of 6 maybe would
Yeah.
really think it's that
And
tremendous.
I also think, and this again, please, if you know I'm wrong, please write in. I think it had like one of those car rides where there's like a steel rail down the middle of the track, so you could not go off this.
yeah, yep.
And so like you would like press the gas pedal and you could steer the car, but it would only go maybe a foot either
Yeah.
side of that steel rail, and like you'd go around. And
Yeah. That was a ride. I forget what it was called.
I don't know.
Car ride.
Car ride.
Yeah.
Old timey car ride. Ford is not an anti-Semite ride. I don't.
The train that they had actually, so there was some vandalism and it burned in a fire.
I can probably. I was not responsible for that.
Yeah, but they got a new one from an old park in Long Island, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was.
But there
it all
were
worked out.
there were vandals in Whitman.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
I believe it. So seasonally, they were open from May 1st to June 1st for like school trips for local
Yeah.
kids. And then from June 1st to Labor Day, they were open every day for whoever. And then once Labor Day happened to October, they would do these like 10-cent coupon books for the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like you could get a 10-cent popcorn, a 10-cent drink, 10-cent ride, 10-cent like filled with whatever. 10 things you could get for 10 cents.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
he said that was like the best thing they ever did for their business to
Yeah.
like keep it going through the weekends in the more of the off season. And then the toy store was able to keep their employees like
Busy through the
Yeah, like-
winter holiday
yes.
season. Oh, that's-
So like
yeah,
year
smart,
round,
yeah.
they were able to keep like a year round staff. They did obviously hire people seasonally. They said that they like mostly just hired kids for the summer,
Teenagers, yeah,
because that's
yeah.
what they needed. And he said he never hired a bad
I think
kid.
my brother-in-law used to work there
yeah,
too.
he said they were all good kids, no bad eggs.
No, I said my brother-in-law used to work.
And it seemed like he just had like a really good, I don't know, way about him. Like he was talked about his like family a lot and how they were all involved. All of his kids worked there with him, like into adulthood. Like it was a family business. They took a lot of pride
It's
in it.
very local, small town, sweet experience. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like even when you were there, you're like, this is low rent, but it's my town.
Yeah.
You know, like it was very, very kind of nice.
Yeah, and like we said, they were like the Mother Goose. So like Mother Goose looking things, but there were also like caricatures there that would come and like entertain. Did you ever see that?
Oh, no, I don't remember.
So it was
that.
like more clowns than anything. when you weren't there on the clown weekends?
I wasn't there during Clown Day.
So,
I missed Clown Con.
yeah.
Clown Con 84.
So funny that you mentioned that. So they were called the South Shore Joeys.
Okay.
And the Joeys are a clown association that are they base their method in traditional clowning.
Okay.
And they have a convention in clown school in Plymouth once a year.
Oh my God.
It's the same
Radisson.
clown.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That is like legend.
Yeah.
I wanted to go one year, so I used to do a little bit of clowning myself.
You know, like, you've been in town when the clown convention hits, right?
Yeah.
I remember my very first year in Plymouth. I was sitting at a bar having a beer, and this girl walks in with a balloon poodle, and I'm like, that's weird. Mm-hmm. And then after like 5 minutes, like there's 9 girls in the place with like balloon animals, and I'm like, what is going? And then like I walked outside, and there were just clowns up and down the street. I had no idea they were connected.
So this is like real random. It's illegal to dress as a clown on Plymouth sidewalks. It's a really old blue law.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
they
talking,
do
like,
it
really
a lot
niche
that
stuff.
day.
I know.
You know, like
Oh.
a lot.
Someone- we need to tell Tatum.
I learned that from like City Lights, City Streets that show I was telling you
Yeah.
guys about. Yeah, that was like one of the things the guy Mark.
We should
learned.
get someone from that clown organization.
Yeah, so I wanted to go because you could get like certified in their
Yeah.
like clown college or whatever for the weekend.
Because that's like a big thing down, and it's always that
Yeah.
like you'll see a random Facebook page where they're like, "Oh, the clowns are here."
I love it.
Yeah,
It's great.
that's great. Certain people don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Grow up. Okay.
Or don't.
I mean, if you don't like clowns, because they're real people just with makeup on.
They're not real people.
They're
real, Andy.
I
That's
used
the
to
scary
love
part.
dressing up as a clown.
Really?
I did it for Old Navy a couple times when I worked there for like special events.
Yeah.
And I did the one time I did it, I went and I had to like work normally before we were like doing whatever it was at like noon.
Yeah.
Wait, were you in clown costume?
The
while you were
whole
working?
time, no one even asked about it. I helped people all day long. It was so bizarre, and
Well,
I
they're
was
probably like, she's, you know.
I was driving around like in it, and like no one even like glanced an eye. So yeah, I'd be like, "Hey, how are you today?" They're like, "Oh, good. Could you get this for me in a small?" Like they did not care whatsoever that I was dressed as a
One of my
clown.
oldest and most favorite Plymouth stories is before I lived in Plymouth. I was dating this girl, and like me, this girl, and Fish were hanging out, and we went down to what is now Luciosa's. At the time, it was the run of the mill bar tavern. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
And this guy's going from table to table doing like the whole Jack Sparrow like pirate thing. I'm like, that's a weird, like, what does that have to do with the mill? This is a weird theme. And then like 5 minutes later, the manager comes over and like kicks him out. I'm like, wait, that guy doesn't work here? They're like, no, he comes in here all the time and like harasses
No way.
people. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Then I'm like, that guy's the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Oh my gosh, when else did I dress up? I dressed up as a clown to my own birthday party.
Last
How
year.
old?
I think I was 22.
Oh, that's in the sweet spot of it's.
Oh my
it's
God.
okay again.
All right, so next January,
Yeah,
my birthday.
You need.
Yeah.
I need a clown.
Okay.
right.
YOLO the clown coming your way.
YOLO the clown.
Yeah.
Do you have like makeup, like static, like your set makeup?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you-
it's
do you
white
have, like,
face and then a word bubble around my eye that says yellow on my eyelid.
Okay.
And
Is
then
this like your official registered clown face though?
I need to get official, but it's
right.
unofficial. My clown face. Yeah.
All right, YOLO the clown's coming to my birthday. All the cool kids are
Great.
going to be there. DM us for an invitation.
I used to joke around and say I would be the clown you could hire for adult clowning, and everyone was like, don't say
no,
that.
you can't. That's a different thing.
I was like, no,
Don't.
I'm an
Our
adult
listeners,
for adult
please,
parties.
Please don't Google that.
Please, yeah,
For adult parties.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
still, no.
yeah, Hannah. That's
no,
not making it. That's not making it so much
No.
better
Yeah.
as more, let's say, niche.
Please don't DM us for adult clowning requests.
So, back to the Whitneys. So, I mean, we know that King's Castle Land is no longer open, and it's Stop and Shop.
It is a Stop and Shop. So what happened was King's Castle Land closed down. The toy store sold off. It became a carpet store.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes, which I think is still there, right?
It may still be there. I don't remember.
It's the one like right before Stop and Shop on the road.
Yeah,
I know the sign is still there.
King's Castle Land.
There's like, or maybe someone moved it, but there's a sign that it's like King's Castle, and it's like
maybe.
just like the wooden frame. It's not like
I don't remember. I've been down there in a while, but the property where the theme park was is now a Stop and Shop.
Yeah, cool.
But the physical store where the toy store was became a carpet store.
Yeah.
And for even a little while, that candy store gift shop like that we talked about, like that was the drawbridge into, became like a flea market.
No way.
Yeah,
Fun.
not a good one.
I think if it's
It was not
there
a
are
very big flea
very
market.
few good flea markets, especially around here. So in 1994, they had to sell September of 1994, and it was due to a combination of a few things: poor economy, bad summer weather, and rising liability insurance. And they were getting older and they wanted to
Yeah,
retire.
because they let kids climb a giant dragon to touch fire.
So now they had to get ready for their retirement and selling of that property. They had like these random pieces to sell off. So like they sold rides out to wherever neighboring parks that wanted them, and they sold the Giants.
Oh wow!
So the Paul Bunyan was sold for $13,000.
Holy crap!
Yep, $13,100.
Do we know who that went to?
No, but like people look out for it. And there is, I have it written somewhere, Roadside Attractions of America.com or AmericanRoadsideAttractions.com, whatever the heck it was. You can like find them all. I need to show you guys these pictures. Sorry.
You can find all those giants?
You can find at least like their makes because they were made, like they were pushed out at some point for gas stations.
Oh.
So like.
Oh, so you can find like similar ones.
Yes, and you could find the one that was there. You just might not know exactly. And so they pretty much, the pictures are so funny the way they like, they're like, know the signs or like know the whatever. And it shows a picture of the Paul Bunyan and it's like chiseled jaw, deep gaze.
Oh, like it describes like.
Yeah. Hold on. It's like, yeah, know the signs. And it's like.
Oh, shut up. Oh my God, this is great. So it's got a real human to scale, and then it has the statue itself.
So you know you're looking at the real one.
Right. And it has no axe, which is weird.
Those can, like, different things can be added to it.
Steely glaze.
Yes.
Lantern jaw. Yeah. Manly shoulder. This is the description of the statue, not of me.
No, I'm trying to figure out. No,
Short sleeves, left hand down, right hand up. Photo op. Why is it pointing at his knee and says photo op?
because you're that tall.
Blocky shoes. Yeah, it's that's funny. That's
Isn't that
awesome.
so
That's
cool?
I assume the photo op is on the weird other side. I thought you'd be like under
no, it's pointing at the knee, not at the dude standing in its crotch.
it's roadsideamerica.com. That's what it is. Oh, my mom's calling me. Here we go.
We're professional.
So, and then there's other things. So he is actually the gas station attendant is Paul Bunyan, and you add the beard and other things. Like you add all that stuff on to make him Paul Bunyan.
Oh, okay.
like a Mr. Potato Head of
Kinda.
roadside attractions.
Yeah.
And then Happy Halfwit was the guy.
Was the kind of
The hillbilly.
The hillbilly, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was built to like hold mufflers. So those guys were all like gas station / like whatever
Yeah.
auto body shop
Like
things.
that got like reused and repurposed as
Repurposed
fantasy
something else.
monsters.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's a
super
bunch
clever.
of other ones.
Oh my God! If anyone listening to this knows where any of the giants are, that's
William Tull, right?
That's William, not Robin.
Yeah, I know.
It looks kind of Robin Hood.
But because
I
they
would
have
assume
them
it's
at a
Robin.
Robin Hood Mufflers.
But if anyone
Oh, yeah.
knows where any of the giants are, or actually any attraction,
So the Roadside America, you can go on, look in each state, and it will give you pins of each roadside attraction.
yeah.
So I looked through all through Massachusetts. I looked through like 10, and I got tired. And I decided to give people the information. They could go do it.
Yeah. But I mean, if anyone finds out where any of these things are, please let us know. We'll
Yeah.
we'll take a day trip.
Yeah.
Go stand on a giant.
Yeah.
Stand in his crotch for a photo op.
RoadsideAmerica.com. That's how you can trace all of them.
RoadsideAmerica.com.
Yeah. And I found like a really weird like community that like I don't know is very interested in also finding them.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
specifically from the South Shore that remember them from King's Castle Land
Really?
too. Yeah.
That's so interesting.
So the Whitneys retired to Plymouth, like I said earlier. And they ended
Passed
up,
away, spoiler.
Yeah, they did. They both actually his wife just passed away in 2020.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tragic.
I know. And she
I feel so crushed, and I don't know these people at all.
yeah, and they ended up still living like happy and reminiscing on their King's Castle Land days, and he built a 12x6
Yeah.
replica of it in his basement.
He built a replica of the park.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's like Beetlejuice style. But like less
With no
scary.
ghosts.
Yeah, no ghosts.
that we know of.
Yeah. And yeah, it doesn't say actually I looked for his the thing online when someone passes away. What's it called?
Obituary?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I almost said obligatory. And-
The obligatory obituary.
Yeah, and I couldn't find his, so I couldn't tell exactly when he passed away, but his wife just passed away in 2020.
Yeah.
And they just were like so happy in this interview to talk about their time at King's
I'm
Castle
gonna have
Land.
to check out that interview.
Oh my god, it's so and it's quick too. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't like drag. It's just like a really nice, cute thing. I have Cupcake on my notebook.
I wonder how that happened.
And like I said, a few of the remnants live at the Whitman Historical Society and Toll House Museum. There is a group on Facebook commemorating their King's Castle Land. It's called King's Castle Land, and there's also a group called I Went to King's Castle Land as a
Following
kid.
that right now.
And lots of pictures. They just keep asking for pictures. So the stop and
Oh, I just got a message back from my sister. She says I might have that picture somewhere.
ooh.
So if she has that, I'm going to try and include it in the.
Yeah.
It'll be in the,
So they have a ton of pictures on that site too, and the talk whoever runs the page is very much alluding to opening King's Castle Land again.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
because the Stop and Shop that's there now is actually closing.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
No kidding.
Huh.
from
I
what
almost used an expletive. there.
from what they say. So, and a lot of the information I got was from that one interview with
From that, yeah.
with
And
the
from
Whitneys.
Andy knowing like way too much. About it.
And from that Facebook group, actually, is where I found a lot of the funny links and stuff
I'm
to
liking
things.
those right now. Yep, King's Castle. Got
And there was a clown and an ice cream cone
yes
thing, and
yes.
and there's one in Kingston.
yeah.
You can see pictures of it on that Facebook group. So we
Huh.
don't know if it's the same clown, but it's like the same.
Mold.
It's got a different smile going
Yeah.
on, but it looks like at one point it was replaced. So it could have been something that was changed, but it's like the same one. So those little things exist everywhere. They just got spread out.
yeah.
And that's all I got on King's Castle Land.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That brought back so many memories. So many.
I felt like I was there looking at like all the pictures people
Yeah,
had.
but
It looked
there's
really so fun.
There is no way.
It's one of those like
closed when you were like what 4?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that when you went as a child, you both had fun and were disappointed simultaneously. Because as a kid, you're like, this is super low rent, but this is the fun for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was very low rent, but
Cool.
it was very sweet. And I was actually at a Comic-Con maybe, I'm going to say about 15 years ago. And there was a guy that had very local T-shirts. So basically took logos from local things and reproduced them. He'd had the Paragon Park logo.
Yeah.
I got like a Creature Double Feature sweatshirt, but I also got a King's Castle Land T-shirt.
Yeah, I can't stop getting ads for King's Castle Land t-shirts now.
It's amazing.
Like,
And it was one of the...
because I looked it up so much.
Because you looked it up.
Yeah.
Because I'll wear it around, and inevitably someone's like, "Oh my God, where did you get that?" Like
Yeah.
it was a thing, even though that thing was mildly disappointing as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Cool.
but it is that connection of mild disappointment that everyone of
It's my Plymouth Rock. No.
Kind of in a weird sort of way where you're like, oh my, everyone like goes back to the, oh my God, it was so unsafe and no one seemed to care.
Yeah.
yeah, it was what everyone's favorite death trap.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Sister have
All
anything to
right.
add?
She's gonna see if she can find the picture. So we're gonna try and include that picture in our graphic for this episode, not just memorialize King's. All right, pick up. We're gonna include that picture if we can in our photo for this week's episode, if we can, to not just memorialize King's Castle Land, but my dad. So, my sister's gonna look for that. So
Cool.
find that. That'd be cool. And the Sparrow, stop talking. Thanks for listening to today's podcast. You can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or on Instagram at Inebri-art6. You can email us at Inebri-art@yahoo.com. And make sure you listen to the other podcasts on the Inebri-art Podcast Network, including Bar Talk, Old Colony Cast, Retro Redoctopus, America's Hometown Horror Podcast, and our newest one, Theme Park Legends, a podcast about working at theme parks. What else? And we'll catch you again next time.